viewers of Alpha Morning Show. Wherever you are across the country this morning, we would love to say good morning, good evening, across the country, and even in the diaspora. For those of you who are just following us, Alpha Morning Show always brings you this program every Tuesdays and Thursdays with variety of topics that we discuss across the country and looking at negativity and positive impact to the societies, and looking at everywhere you are following us, try to be with us. And we are looking at something very important today, that is to say, I think that is culture, which is very important, that we are going to be discussing about. And with me in the studio, we will be having in this important topic, we are looking at one of the cultures, that is to say, Nyambara nationality of Central Equatoria State, who is also with me in the studio is an author who has really strive his way to make sure he really tried to identify in one of these cultures, that is Nyambara nationality, and trying to look at of what importance it is to the society and to the community in Central Equatoria State, by names of Professor Francis Barsan, University of Juba. He'll be able to elaborate more what this book means and of what importance it is to the people of this community and South Sudanese people at large, as people follow culture. Nice having you on board with me, Francis Barsan, on this juncture. Actually, I would love to say good morning.
Morning, David.
Yes.
My name is Francis Barson Yosa Lodulogre. I'm actually a professor in the university. Sometimes they call me Lopijo. Lopijo is somebody who is a goat, he-goat. This name has been given to me by somebody in the village called Tom. He actually, because I was, a girl came to me, and the girl had an affair with her. Then I was taken to the court. I was fined 12 pounds. And then my father was very angry with me. But then Tom said, why are you angry? These are how they are. They can, anywhere. These are our children. So the name is Lopijo. Then I said, okay, that's a good name. Then you see, I'm going to talk about 3 books, actually. One is the Anyanya movement in Southern Sudan, which has already gone viral and is finished, and I want to print more for people to see all over the world. And then there is another one that is my...
I think before all, why do you think you have come up with that initiative? Because now, being a professor, of course, you have to produce books and write to enlighten the public to know what it means. What initiative have come into your mind?
You see, in 2018, I almost died. In fact, I went off to oblivion. And then I went and met my brothers, my brother and father and mother, and they told me to go with them to paradise. That place is so sweet, I tell you. Then my mother stood firm that I shouldn't die. I should come back. She has grandchildren. Then I opened my eyes, and I wanted to go back. I closed my eyes very hard to go back, but God said, no, you're going to be with your grandchildren. So that was actually what initiated me to come and write, because now from there, I started remembering people who died years, centuries ago. Those of Lukudu Jukera, and so forth, our chiefs in the village. That is how I came to work on my books. Thank you.
So you wanted to be recognized that you have written something that recognizes the culture of Nyambara people.
Of course.
And how about the people?
Yeah, the people actually, you see, the culture is very rich. You see things like farting when they like this. That one is bad. It's bad. You will not get married. And then prostitution, of course, in economic terms, prostitution is income, which is good. But the Nyambara definition doesn't hold that. The Nyambara definition holds that any woman who goes with anybody, logona tuko aingutu ngilo loron ngilo kedebe penga. And then you see an example, for instance, a man wanted to fart, and then he just opened part of his buttocks. The fat came suddenly and he said, oh, don't put. Daje this Daje Kirnan. Suddenly another woman also parted. People laughed a lot. And so that one is about the culture. And also you see scratching your buttocks and then scratching your scrotum and your parts of your body. That one is also bad in the Nyangwara community. Another one is, you see a man went to Khartoum, wanted to marry, and then he came back, he wanted to get somebody's wife. That man was so kind, but then there was a very ugly man whose head was very not well built. He just decided to say, I will solve the problem for you. Just hold on. In church, you sit around the man, and then I will know what to do. Then there, just suddenly, he farted very loud. And people all got confused. People laughed. The priest even laughed and said church was disbanded that day. You know, that is our culture. Our culture is absolutely rich. Thank you.
Now, in terms of this book, when you look at you writing this book, what is the content of this book totally?
The people say Nyangwara. It is not Nyangwara. It is Yangwara. Yangwara means horns. Because in those years, our people had cattle. But then cattle died because of Tethys fly. And now they don't have cattle, so Yangwara is the right term. And then the people, cultivation-wise, they are cultivating varieties of foods. And if you see in the pictures, you'll find a lot of pictures showing animals, fish, and the danga and so forth. Kukulengo long kata jore bungini durere. Kinengo link peja culture likang. And then there, I also put in the names of my best friends, my brothers, my sisters, and pictures of my children. You'll find them in the books. So this is how I decided to write. And then my CV is there also, you know. Thank you very much. And
what motivated you into, because writing a book is not an easy thing, bringing up kind of a book like this, it's kind of a novel now looking at it.
That is correct.
How long has it taken you to come up with?
It has taken me almost 2 years. You see, writing is not an easy thing. All these books have taken me almost 4 years. There is another one which I'll indicate to you. It is called Poverty, Love and Joy. And this one is a wonderful book. You see, it helps a lot in, there are pictures inside, and also how those of people fought in the Anyanya movement. A man like James Loro is pictured here. A man like even our president is there. John Garang is there. All the people who were there, Thomas Cirillo is there. All of them, they are pictured there in the book. And you'll find how they went up to Kassala, to Kosamkorep, and so forth. So the book is quite wonderful. Thank you.
I know it has never been easy for you to come up with that writing. It took you quite long. Who could be some of your producers, some of your co-authors that initiated you to actually come up with?
We have in Australia somebody called Brian Adeba was one of those who authored me, and then Lal Deng in Australia, and then even we had to take some books to Egypt for publishing, and then to Kenya for publishing, and I intend to take this one to Uganda. I have moved so many places. I've worked in many places. I went even to Britain. And in Britain, I thought things were good, but then a child saw me. I was dressed in full suit and then covered my face. When I looked at him, the child said, oh, I was the devil, because I was black. He was pointing at me. Then I said, well, I'm a human being, my child, you see. The other one, they came, and then I was told earlier that they are very bad people, the National Front. When they come, they'll hit you on your foot. But then I didn't know this. When I was going, they said, go home, you monkey. I said, I'm not a monkey. Then they ran away. I was very disappointed. I almost
now that you try to look kind of unique among the white people, they called you in a different name, a black monkey. How did you feel, you know?
Absolutely bad. I was traumatized. I wanted to come back, actually. You see, very big people, you know, a black man was moving, and then he just saw me. I was about to be beaten because of my girls. And then these guys came, and one of them raised up his hand, wanting to beat me. The black man caught him. The black man is huge, with small head, big shoulders. Caught him and then put their heads together. They fell down, farted, running away. Then I was saved. You know, the whites are terrible people, but then some of them are good.
Professor Francis, you had an ambition of actually, you had moved a lot across abroad and looking at actually in the diaspora. As you did mention, you went to Britain, you went to UK, that is to say UK, and looking at also Egypt, publishing this book. There's never been an easy thing. And at the same time, when you came back, you had an initiative of writing this book. What impression did you have?
Absolutely beautiful. I was well impressed, and I looked at myself as somebody who was coming out from the blue to write books like this. Actually, my books are so good. I have now made my master's. I intend to make my PhD, which will be coming out soon, and then I'll write more books. You know, professors in Nigeria, for instance, they have written so many books, and they have warned the church that they are sorry if they have written some derogatory languages. But then God has created people like that. What can you do? You see? So this is normal, and I will go to the village and then talk to my people about these books in the near future.
Francis Balsan, you already made this book. Has it become part of the curriculum in the universities or looking at other institutions that are of learning?
That's correct, yes. Yes, the books are already viral in the universities all over and so forth. You see, the Zandes, for instance, are fighters. When they dance, Sarakunita ba bari fi binumana, Sarakunita zande kasrani tali jua. You see, the Zandes are very good, excellent people, but they are easy people. They are so good people. Thank you.
Have you tried to bring in some of them as mentors, you know, looking at you being...
Yes, they are there with me. Asara, professor in the university, was there. We have Joseph, somebody else, and so many of them with me.
That would look great. And then, what do you have in a vision of writing books? You have already produced like 2 of them, 3?
Yeah, 4. I have a vision. I visualize the future, how it is, and I'm going to write more of these books.
South Sudanese people have got 65 tribes. Have you tried to 65 tribes and plus, I think so. And have you tried to recognize them?
I am going to write more books on all the tribes, but in those books that I've written, they are common. I've touched all of them. Yes.
Well, what do you have, you personally as a professor, looking at this book in the future, looking at its impression to the young people?
Yeah, well, the coming generation, actually, this book is for them. They are going to benefit a lot, because if we don't write, they will not know what we are. You see, we always think that the British are the best people to write about our derogatory language. We don't know that we can write it. Why are you ashamed of them? We also write, such that our people also see what we have written. And these young ones, I think in the future, they are going to understand more about these books.
Professor Francis Balsan Nyawosa, you look at it, it's not easy. Who is behind you over putting this? Because publishing is not also an easy thing. Launching was also not an easy thing. Who was behind you?
Oh, so many people, brother. So many people. I had Jabdallah behind me. They recognized me for that. We had so many people, the university also, Abraham Accord, and then other people. So many of them recognized me for that.
So what do you have in mind looking at this book in the future as people go through educating people in different cultures? Would you love South Sudanese people to follow this culture? Culture, of course, can be forgotten.
Exactly. Actually, please, I want you to publish all the pictures in those books, because those ones will show exactly how we are writing. For instance, people smoking, and then also folks want to smoke. And so I want you to publish this with the pictures all shown in them.
Now, is it written in in a society of a civilized people? Because you came from Central Equatorial State and looking at Ajuba as it. What do you have to say about that?
Well, civilized people, we are also civilized. All of us are civilized, and we cannot think that it's only the Europeans who are civilized. All of us are civilized in the world. The world is ours, until death. Thank you.
That would be great. Viewers of Alpha Morning Show, that was Francis Bersan, professor from University of Juba, who has come with an initiative of writing this book, Nyangwara, Nationality of Central Equatorial State, trying to let people know why he has come up with that initiative of writing this book, to recognize, because culture is actually rich among the people within societies, and looking at actually of what importance it is to the people of South Sudan. Let's go for that short break. We will be right back as we continue with our discussion to look at this book into details. Stay with us, don't go, we'll be right back. Welcome back, viewers, from that short break of course, Alpha Morning Show. If you've just joined us on this program today, as we're looking at this author who has come up with this initiative of producing this book, that is to say, Nyangwara, Nationality in Central Equatorial State, looking at him as a professor in the University of Juba, trying to look at how we can eradicate and educate the people within his community, within communities, within societies of the people of South Sudan, and South Sudan having a rich culture with many tribes. As we look at Professor Francis Bersan, would you be able to tell us how many pages of these books that contains? Because it may take some people many days to read, or some people don't have time to read it.
My books are very simple indeed to read. I have the 4 books. One of them is 120. The other one is about 110. The other one is about 50 something. And the 4th one, in which has not been published, is about 100. So this is very easy. Please don't keep on saying Nyangwara. I know it is difficult, but say Nyangwara. Even David now was saying Nyangwara. I asked him not to say Nyangwara. Let him say Nyangwara. Nyangwara, please. Thank you.
But some people may not be knowing the meaning of Nyangwara.
Yeah, this is actually horns, Nyangwara, because we had cattle in the past.
Now, what does those horns mean?
The horns are good.
Because it symbolizes something.
Yeah, these are cows and like buffaloes and so forth. And by the way, the names of places like in Juba, and say Libas Mafi, it means when you go there, you find the woman is naked already, and then you go with her. You go to Bullet. That means you have your penis, just make it like this, and then you wash it. Then you go to places like Rujal Mafi. Yeah, there are no men. The women during the Anyanya war, so women had to find men and then go with them. We have a place called Kurodong. Kurodong means people move and then they make intercourse until the place becomes bare. you know. Then Kurukawi, your buttocks move around and then the place becomes killing. So many names which are very funny indeed. The Arabs wanted to change them, but then people refused completely. You see, thank you very much.
Now, what do you have to say? Because looking at culture being rich, what are your main food values? Because in the content of this book, looking at the pictures of snakes, pictures of wild animals like we've checked through that when you look at the fish. What was the main food people like?
That is what they call
grains
pirinda.
also.
That is what they call pirinda. Pirinda is lubarata actually. That food is very delicious indeed. And then we have, for the fish, you have tilapia, you have other fish, and then we also eat even snakes, not the other type, but types like bongorokok, you see, and then kitun, you eat them. And then you have of course, the human body, you cannot touch it. But then all other animals, we eat them. So that's what I can tell you.
But what are those types of, when you look at the snakes that you talked of?
That is this bongorokok, the python, and then the bongorokok, which is cobra, and then other snakes, small ones.
So that is very great. And looking at you being an author and at the same time, I know you are proud of producing this book today to the people of to the entire communities of South Sudan. Looking at it, because it's so amazing that at least people get to know the cultures and getting impressed into this. What in mind do you have looking at this? Because this generation today, some people avoid eating other things because by then they used to have, like, women are categorized not to be eating some other kind of food, but today it happens. And so what do you have in mind?
Yes, women sometimes, especially giving birth, you know, some snakes come near the child, they don't harm. And then the foods which are eaten sometimes, you see, we eat the pirinda, for instance, and other foods. But then the children of these days, when they see them, for instance, the ngongo and then the honey with the what do you call it? They begin to, that thing, making chop, that is snake. They don't like to eat that because they think they will vomit. You see, but actually these are very delicious foods. There's no need for them to fear. You see, they have to be educated, these young men of these days. Thank you.
Professor Francis, you come from a great family. Looking at your biography in this book, looking at it, are you polygamist or a monogamist?
Absolutely polygamist, and I want even more. I'm ready for more. You know, there are so many people who are polygamists. Religion says no, of course, but I don't believe in religion in that matter. But then you see, there are, for instance, the Dinkas. They have even many wives, and they bring out so many children. So I love that. I love polygamy.
Why do you think you have initiated to become a polygamist? Because having in the history of Nyambara, looking into this book and its content, that there were few. Is it because of that?
Of course, our population is very little indeed. Mm-hmm. So I have encouraged the boys to marry as many as possible. Of course, religion doesn't like it. And I have been telling the religious people, I'm sorry for that. But then it has to be accepted. What can we say? Because we need many people in great population. Yeah.
Are you having grandchildren at the moment?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. I have about 20-something grandchildren. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're growing up very well, very intelligent children. And you will find them, some of them hugging me and so forth in that book.
Oh, that sounds great. And what do you think would be the future of the people of Nyambara being in that number in increasing?
The Nyambara are going to increase tremendously, especially with the encouragement to get more wives. They are going to increase, and they will increase definitely.
Now, in the tradition of Nyambara, looking at its content,
you are still saying Nyambara.
Say Nyambara.
Yes,
Nyambara people. Yeah. What are your neighbors looking at?
The Mundari, for instance, are very tall people. Mm-hmm. We have the the Muru, just west of that. Then the Wunduruba are actually called Yangbara also. And then we have the Fujulu, we have the Baris here in Juba. These are all our neighbors. And we share the same thing. There is something called Karo coming up, which is very helpful indeed.
Do you have something to do with intermarriage, looking at that?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Actually, we were told people before, but because of intermarriage, they have become short. Our girls are very smooth. They dress, we dress kodoket, and they dress the leaves, which are called bono. But nowadays, they are well dressed nowadays.
And why do you think some young Bara people becomes tall and others become? Is it because of the intermarriage or because of the area people live in?
You know, if you want to get a tall fellow, you have to examine carefully when you make sexual intercourse. They say, make your wife eat a lot of salt, so you'll get tall men. And sometimes they end up with boys only. So when they want to have a girl, finish, they don't have them. But the intermarriages are, they help bring that down, really.
Does that come within the culture? Or
oh, yes, culturally, yes.
And when we look at it biologically, it's quite different. What is the difference between that? What do you have to analyze?
Well, biology is actually culture itself. You know, the biology helps us how to mate our women, and you know, the doctors help us in that.
Professor Francis Berson, to wind up, I think, about this book, what do you really have to tell the people of South Sudan as far as the content of this book is concerned, and looking at it as a Yangwara nationality of Central Equatoria, and of course it takes a lot, and it takes a lot of meaning. Ever since you published, and looking at it, many people have gone through and looking at it as it has become a history. Of course, it repeats itself in the next generation to come. What do you have to wind up telling people of South Sudan as far as it's concerned, being a professor?
I want you not to call us Yangwara. Say Yangwara from now onwards. And this book has a lot of literature. You can really, historical facts are there. You'll find out that the book tells you how we marry, how we detest certain things, certain cultures, how we hunt, how we cultivate, how we go all over the country, what we do. And also there's the Anyanya movement, which I have written. You'll find also my book, and then the love and joy, and then poverty. These are the things which I can tell my younger ones to read after that. Thank you very much.
And when we look in 1 minute, I think looking at the literature, this is already literature.
Yes.
And you had once been a Minister of Information, Central Equatorial State, by then. And what do you have in mind looking at actually the public library? Because when we look at actually these books that are being produced, people would want to follow up, not only this, but because of the culture, and because culture and heritage, you had been in the ministry knowing about it. By then it used to, and today, what do you have in mind if you look into that, because these books have to be kept well?
Actually, the Minister of Information, in fact, embodies communication, culture, youth, sports, and archives. And all these things, I have been dealing with them. In fact, I almost made the archives section in Nimera Talata. A certain Australian wanted to do it. Unfortunately, the man who was there refused to leave. Then, you know, the culture is supposed to be looked into as a body, you know, development into certain facts, cultures of the people, you know. And I think we have to write more. Let us write more about these books, and then about how sexually we intermingle with people.
Francis Berson, Professor, looking at this book, today when we look at the AI, the artificial intelligence, people look at actually producing other things in a visual way, filming. Do you have that idea of producing now, putting it in a film way so that people understand it better? Because many books have their film.
Yeah, if I can
what do you have?
If I can have the chance, I really love to make it into a film. You know, it is very good indeed because such that people can see how we dance, how we make our own cultures and so forth. I would really love to make it into a film.
And what is the future of that if you're looking into it? Because today, in the next generation to come, people may not be in AI, that is this artificial intelligence, many people may not be handling books. People will be able to be checking things. When you follow the social media, people would want to make things easier than writing, than even reading more.
Actually, they all are the same. Actually, AI actually gives people the power not to suffer in writing because it comes automatically. And then we need to incorporate that into our cultures, into our books, and then the young ones will actually take it up seriously. I love to make people happy and just easy life, especially in writing. Thank you.
Finally, what do you have to tell the people of South Sudan as far as this book is concerned, and looking at you being a professor in the University of Juba, and at the same time, you had served a lot, and looking at your outcome?
Yeah, you please, you helped me a lot in doing this because, I was a Minister of Information, but I was given the boot, and Clement Konga is still around. If we need more, we can go to him. And then we have many ministers who have been booted and who can help us a lot. And I need you to help me in carrying out this, especially the binding, the printing. I don't have money, I'm a poor man, but still things will work out, hopefully. Thank you.
In 1 minute, you're not poor, you're rich in mind.
Yeah, the brain is very rich indeed, but I need cash, man.
Thank you so much,
thank you.
Professor Francis Barson. Viewers of Alpha Morning, if you had been following us, of course, on this program of looking at the author who has produced this book, that is to say, Yangwara, Nationality of Central Equatorial State, and you'll be able to find these books in public libraries, and looking at some institutions, especially at the archive, which is very important to educate. It has become part of literature in most of the institutions in South Sudan, and it will educate being literature to the people of South Sudan. We have come to the end of this program. You can continue watching the rest of your programs on the national television. As we say, bye for now. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Thank you. Now, can you...